If you didn't have to wear a helmet, would you be more likely to get on your bike? The answer is yes, according to a new study. The benefits of cycling are undeniable. It's good for your health, the environment and even traffic congestion. But according to new research, Aussies are reluctant to get on their pushies because of our compulsory helmet laws. 20% of people say they'd ride more if they weren't forced to don the old stack hat. And the study's author reckons it's time we ditch the law. Australia is one of the only countries in the world where adults are fined if caught without a helmet. When the legislation was introduced in 1991, cycling numbers dropped by around 40%. But health authorities argue they save lives.
I see too many brains that are messed up, too many people that are messed up by not having a helmet on.
So if it spurs people into cycling, is it worth considering relaxing mandatory helmet laws? Or do we still need to be told how to look after our own heads? Jeff McLeod is a cyclist and member of Helmet Freedom, which wants to ditch our helmet laws. Jeff, just because more people would ride, do you really think that outweighs the risk of more brain injuries?
It does. The health benefits are immense for riding. We all need to be more active, and helmet laws prevent us from doing so.
But the stats are pretty convincing. I mean, Queensland Uni found that wearing a helmet halves the rate of head injuries. In fact, a 74% reduction in the likelihood of severe brain injury. I think I'm going to stick with wearing the helmet.
Well, those stats are quite old, and there's been a lot of new research done, and basically a helmet cannot prevent brain injury. It is impossible for any helmet to prevent brain injury, and helmet laws have only really succeeded in turning off a generation of cyclists from doing what we call everyday cycling.
Jeff, I think adults can make up their own mind. I mean, I don't need anyone to tell me whether to wear a helmet or not, but is there an argument that perhaps we should set a limit where children should wear helmets up to, say, to the age of 14, 15, 16?
Well, of course, children should wear helmets because they're often learning to ride and they fall off a lot. And we're not saying that have no helmets on children. We're saying allow adults the freedom to choose, just like we have in the rest of the world.
But that comparison to other countries really doesn't stack up. The relationship here between motorists and cyclists is very unhealthy. It's very aggressive. I've ridden without a helmet in a number of cities around the world, but I wouldn't do it here in Australia.
Well, the notion that things are different here is actually not correct. They have a lower injury rate in Vietnam and Italy, where drivers are driving like mad people all over the place.
I mean, this debate is great, Jeff, but do you think anyone's actually going to do anything about this? I mean, no politician is actually going to want to change the laws and be responsible for someone's death.
Well, the political will... 5 people are going to die on the roads today in cars. And, in fact, in Australia, you have a greater chance of getting skin cancer while you're riding than you do of having a brain injury. Unfortunately, 20 years of government propaganda about how dangerous cycling is has really taken its toll. It's done for cycling what Jaws did for swimming on the beach.
Jeff, can we just solve this problem by inventing a helmet that doesn't make you look like a tool?
Well, there's probably got a whole team working on it somewhere, but to have these nanny state rules coming in and booking cyclists for cycling through a very safe environment or a park or someone getting a loaf of bread is just ridiculous.
You've actually had a serious accident, though, haven't you, whilst wearing a helmet?
I was a teenager. The chain of my bike came off and I went through an intersection on the side of my face over 2 lanes, and if I hadn't been wearing my helmet and had that bit of distance, I would have scarred one side of my face and probably done myself pretty serious brain injury.
You also ride a motorcycle, so you know what helmets are about, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I'd like to see more people ride bikes. Cycling is wonderful, but I do worry it just takes one time, doesn't it?
Ride
to have an injury like that.
Yeah, I would, as I say, but we need better laws regarding motorist respect of cyclists. We need the 1 metre rule to pass.
Yeah, but your issue's about the hair.
No.